the publisher of the Chicago Daily News, Walter A. Strong, asked his friend and newly elected President Herbert Hoover for help.
Ooh-wee.
He says, Herbert, we got some gang activity going on in Chicago, and I don't like it.
It's crazy. See this stuff going on.
You should see it. People are hitting people in the heads with baseball bats.
Crazy.
At a secret White House meeting on March 19, 1929, Strong, Frank Loesch of the Chicago Crime Commission, and Laird Bell pleaded to the president to get involved. They're like, please, Mr. President, get involved.
Our mayor is dumb.
Hoover decided that with most of the police and magistrates under Capone's power, that the only way to bring him down was with the federal government.
Right, it's the only way. And but you also have the local. You have to have the local government be compliant too, which we see that ain't happening.
Well, I think what that means is they're gonna cook up some charges federally. Right now, all he's doing is state charges.
Right.
So they need to get him something on federally, which ends up being the tax charges, obviously.
Exactly. Well, a multi-agency attack was launched on Al Capone.
Of course they were.
The Treasury and Justice Departments developed plans for income tax prosecutions on Chicago's gangsters.
Right, because how many, wouldn't that be the first step? Like, we got all these gangsters getting cash flow. How many of them are actually paying taxes?
Right, we're like, wait, yeah, we never really looked into this. I mean, they're paying taxes on their little buildings, their little speakeasies and stuff.
That's legal.
Right.
In the sense of the law, but any income you get, you need to pay taxes on, whether it's you're doing this or that. And
at this very same time, a small elite squad of Prohibition Borough agents that included Elliot Ness.
Oh, Elliot Ness. We'll have an episode on him too, guys. Don't worry about that.
They were deployed against the bootleggers. So you got these guys, basically the Texas Rangers.
Elliot Ness was like, I'm going to get every bootlegger I can.
He ain't kidding. In a city full of corruption.
Oh, Chicago.
These guys were not able to be bought.
Nope.
This led for a writer of the Chicago Daily News to dub them the Untouchables.
You guessed it. You didn't do the old. You didn't do the old thing.
I should right there. Yeah. This led for a writer of the Chicago Daily News to dub them. You guessed it.
What they dub them?
Yeah, there it is.
I didn't guess it.
Oh, you didn't guess it?
Tell me.
The Untouchables.
It was the Untouchables. There's a movie about those. I think in like 88 or 89.
Kevin Costner
and
somebody else.
of course, it's Kevin C.
Well, anyway, Strong used his newspaper resources to gather info on the Capone gang.
So this guy, this is damn good journalism. What a damn good journalist right here. He's actually doing his journalism for good to get rid of crime and drugs and alcohol and all this shit out of the neighborhood, that he wants to be a peaceful place for people.
See, back then you could like kind of glorify these guys because you knew that would piss off everybody and the law would get them. That's what he was doing.
Well, not only that, back then gangsters like Capone and we'll get into Nicky. What the hell's his name?
It's kind of like back in Old West when Clint Eastwood would come into town and clear out the...
Clint Eastwood didn't live in the Wild West, right?
Cleared out the troublemakers. Clint Eastwood did live in the Wild West. They make a lot of movies about him. Somehow he gets to play in them, too.
Yeah, right. He's a fucking old guy. He is right now, but...
he is an old guy.
But yeah, back in these days, even in the 60s, 70s, the local gangsters... They gave back. I mean, they were fucking pieces of shit. They were giving heroin, and you'll see coming into the 70s and 80s, they give heroin and crack and cocaine and all that stuff to the people
early on.
But they still invested their money into the community and gave to the people, and that kind of started the whole. That kind of started the whole. We're not going to snitch on anybody because the people around that were living in the neighborhood with these same drug dealers and kingpins and stuff, they respected them because the kingpins actually looked out for these people and gave them money and supported them, and that led to cops come. We ain't going to tell you shit. We ain't going to tell you shit about this guy. Come on, I mean he paid my rent bill last month. Because they did stuff like that. And this is the exact same thing.
It's true.
Capone's doing the same thing. Ain't nobody going to tell on Capone.
That's smart.
But now you got a journalist, though,
he's like, wait.
Coming in, he's like,
look at these guys. Look at these guys.
I got some connections, and so now we're going to investigate you, Capone.
They're running half of a city right now.
Well, guess what happened?
Half of a city these guys are running.
Almost a full city.
Almost a full city,
Well, Capone was arrested on March 27, 1929, while leaving a grand jury testimony on violation of prohibition laws stemming from him faking an illness earlier to get out of another hearing, which we already covered. He was arrested on May 16, 1929 in Philly for carrying a concealed weapon and indicted on May 17th.
That's what got him.
Well, following a guilty plea, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was sent to Eastern State Penitentiary on August 8th and released on March of 1930. So he went August 8th of 1929 and released in March. So
see, they had it. They tried to get him off the streets for as long as they could. So they start. See, if I was Al Capone, I'd have been a little suspect right there. I'm like, all right, they'll get me on this shit, but he's gonna keep on going.
Well, they got him for carrying his
concealed
weapon.
But he ain't stupid. He knows damn
so
well what
he
they
served
got
from August to September, October, November, December,
Served
January, February, March. He served 7 months in prison for carrying concealed. He got out in 1930 of March, and after this,
Public Enemy number
he
one.
would shortly be listed as Public
They
Enemy
also made
number
a movie
one.
with that name on it too, guys. It's called Public Enemy number one.
Yeah, but that's not Capone.
Huh?
That's not Capone.
Yes, that's why the movie's called Public Enemy number one.
No, Public Enemy number one is John Dillinger. We will see. We'll get to John Dillinger, but there's been several Public Enemy number ones.
Was it John Dillinger?
Yes, in this era, there's. Yeah.
It was the movie about John Dillinger?
Johnny Depp was.
Right. Was he?
Yeah, Johnny Depp, Public Enemy number one. Yeah, there'll be several Public Enemy number ones because they got him out of the way. They either died or they killed him, and then the same another guy was Public Enemy number one. But Al Capone is the first ever Public Enemy number one to the state. It's like similar to the terrorist list that we see now.
He was a domestic terrorist.
You remember? You know how like they use like cards.
Yeah.
Bin Laden was like the ace of spades and all that stuff. This is pretty much their list with organized crime in the United States right now.
Right. Well, the year is 1930, the month of April. L was arrested in Miami for vagrancy.
So he's a homeless guy. Why didn't...
It's ridiculous. But it didn't stick and was again arrested for vagrancy once again in Chicago in September.
So vagrancy technically means homelessness or wandering around...
Right.
Not having any place to go, pretty much.
Right. They're being vagrant. Is there a movie called Vagrancy?
So
is there a movie called
there's a movie called No Vacancy. But vagrancy is 1930. This guy had a lot of money. Come on. They arrested him. They arrested him on bogus charges because he was probably wandering around drunk.
The actual
what is the definition of
Webster
vagrancy?
Dictionary is the state of living as a vagrant, homelessness.
Right.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. Was he homeless or was he just running around town drunk, which would be a charge for vagrancy?
Right. I think that may be what it is.
Right.
He's so fucked up right now.
Come on, like you don't have a place to go stay.
How old is he? He's only 29.
That's what I'm saying. He don't have a place to go stay. He's 31 right here.
He should be my boss still.
He was born in 1899.
He's still my boss.
He's 30, that's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
So they arrested him for vagrancy.
Why is he running around by himself as a mob boss? There's a whole story missing here. There's no reason why a mob boss who gets out of prison is going to be running around the streets by himself.
He got released from prison in March of 1930.
Right.
The next month, April 30, he was arrested in Miami for vagrancy. So clearly, he got out of prison, and they're still trying to put him away. So they're going to make up bogus vagrancy charges because he was probably walking drunk on the street, and they're like, "You're a vagrant."
Yeah, but he wouldn't be walking alone ever.
Well, of course he would.
I don't know about that.
But either or, it was bogus charges. Let's just say that.
Right. Well, he got 6 months.
Contempt of court, though, so he never showed up.
He ended up being charged for contempt of court and sentenced to 6 months in jail. He remained free while the case went through an appeal.
Okay, well, Assistant AG Mabel Walker Willebrandt figured out that while mob figures live public, lavish lifestyles, none of them filed tax returns, which we already know where this is going.
It took them that long to figure that out?
This meant they could be convicted without any real hard evidence, which was proven right by her prosecuting a South Carolina bootlegger. In 1927, the Supreme Court ruled that illegally earned income was subject to income tax.
Right. You either owe it or you're going to jail.
So they pretty much passed a law, not directly of Capone, but Capone and others like him as a whole.
Well, it's for when they get him. That law's there.
That's what I'm saying. We got you now. We know that we can prove that you're selling this.
Right.
We can prove that you're selling that. We can prove that you're selling this.
See what they did?
But did you I'm sorry, Mr. L. You don't have there's no receipts from the IRS that you paid taxes on this $1.5 million that you earned.
Right. Yeah.
Where's those receipts, sir?
See. Crazy. Well, the IRS put Frank J. Wilson on L's case with his focus on his spending.
My point exactly. So now they're going around saying he just bought a new car. He just bought a penthouse.
Right.
He just did this. He just
Think of them as insurance inspectors.
Right. Did she really break her leg?
12th of March, 1931. L was charged with tax evasion from the year of 1924 and on to June 5th, 1931.
So that's fucking 7 years that he was charged from.
He was indicted by a federal grand jury on 22 counts of tax evasion.
22.
From the years of 25 to 29.
Wait. So they went from 24 to 31, but he's only indicted from 25 to 29.
Maybe they found something. His lawyers, who knows?
25 to 29 are the most convincing, probably, so they stuck to that.
A week later, the Untouchables inflicted major damage to Capone's operation
what
that
they
led his
do.
indictment on 5,000 counts of violations.
5,000 counts.
Volstead Act.
Which is the prohibition, violating the Prohibition Act. 5,000 counts, they say. On June 16, 1931, Capone pleaded guilty to all the charges as part of a plea deal when he would only get 2.5 years.
Oh, no shit.
Well, on July 30th, the judge refused to honor the plea deal, so Capone withdrew the guilty plea. Judge Wilkerson later only tried Capone for the tax evasion, saying that those took precedent over the Volstead Act violation.
Right.
Obviously, you're going to convict him over the tax stuff. The Volstead Act,
Right.
who cares about
Right.
making alcohol, right?
Right. Given that they were counting on the plea deal that the judge ended up refusing,
Right.
Capone's lawyers had very little time to prepare for the trial and ran a weak defense.
Wow, so this guy couldn't even hire the best lawyers. Where was Johnny?
ridiculous.
Johnny Cochran didn't have no ancestors back then?
That's sad. The government ended up charging Capone with evasion of $215,000, a total income of $1,038,654.
So he owed $215,000
Out of that.
out of a confirmed
Right.
income of $1,038,000. Yeah.
October 17th, Capone was convicted of 5 counts of income tax evasion, fined $50,000 plus court costs, and was liable for the 250 grand plus interest.
Plus interest, which ballooned to probably like 600 grand.
Right, 600 grand plus 50,000 plus 5
the
counts.
court costs. Plus the court costs.
Right. He was sentenced to 11 years of prison 1 week later.
Okay.